Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Tanie Codes. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys the ins and outs of numbers. And when I refer to numbers, I'm referring to whole numbers, which are integers in C++, and decimal numbers, which we refer to float and double. So as I've said, integers are whole numbers, and then in decimals we have float and double. Typically what float and double is, that decimal numbers, and the basic difference, or the main difference I'd like to say, is double takes double decimals of numbers. So float is for a few decimal numbers, and then double is double that. Tiny numbers are the most data types that we're going to deal with in C++, and you'd like to know how to manipulate and use them. We're going to look at different basics of numbers, how we can use mathematical functions and mathematical operators. Before we start, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment in the comment section, and also share this video to anyone who think might be interested in learning C++. And let's get right into it. Numbers in C++ are pretty straightforward. You can just type the number that you want to be consoled out in your console, so you don't need to put inverted commas.
Inverted.
You don't need to put quotation marks and single quotation marks. So with integers, you can just put in the number and it's going to console out exactly the number that you have coded. So let's build and see. So as you can see, our number 60 is printed out on our console. So basically that's how you can use your integers. You don't need to put in quotation marks. You can just put in the number that you want to use exactly. And in addition of that, you can also put in negative numbers. You can also put in decimal points. So as you can see, our console has printed the decimal number, and that's how we can use numbers. They're pretty simple. So in addition of just printing out numbers on your console, you can do maths. For example, you can say 5 plus, I don't know, 9, and then the computer is going to calculate that for you, and it's going to print out the answer. So as you can see, 14. So the computer does all the mathematics, and you can just print out the answer. So I'm pretty sure you're getting ideas on how you can build programs using C++, using your mathematical functions. Basically, you can use the basic mathematical operations, just like subtraction, division, and also multiplication. I think I'm gonna show you guys, we have something called a modular operator. So basically what a modular operator does, it gives you the remainder of your dividends. Like for example, if you're going to say 5, so our modular operator is the percentage sign. So if you're going to say 5 divided by 2, it's going to actually give you the remainder of that. So it's going to give you 1. Pretty useful, for example, when I want to do a program where I print out if the number is even or odd. So you can use this instead of trying to figure out how you can manipulate the numbers and get the even and odd. No, you can just say whatever number that you have. For example, maybe if the user types in maybe 10, so we have to divide that number with 2. If the answer is greater or equals to 1, then that number is odd. So if the modular is less than 1, which means it's 0, then your number is even. So I think a modular is a great addition to C++, and it's pretty useful, and I've been using it for most of the time. So like I said, this modular gives you the remainder of your operands. So for example, if I'm gonna build this and run this, so as you can see, our answer is 1. So 5 divided by 2, it's gonna actually give you a remainder of 1. So the answer is 2, and it's gonna give you the remainder of 1. So this is a very, very useful tool, and I use it most of the time. So like obviously in general mathematics, we have the order of operation, the order of importance, I'd like to say. So C++ actually uses BODMAS. So your division takes much importance than your subtraction and your addition. So it's going to be BODMAS. Brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction going to be utilized in that way. So generally follows the basic mathematical rules, the BODMAS. But you can manipulate that. For example, if you want an operator to take first preference, you can So for example, if I say 4 plus 6 times 10, the computer is going to first calculate the product of 4 and 10. So it's going to first multiply 4 times 10, then it's going to add the 6. It's going to be 46, which is the correct way. So the computer is going to say first 4 times 10, and then it's going to add the 6 later. So if you need to separate the order of operation, you want one to take importance more than the other, you can just put in brackets. So you can just put in your parentheses. So as the BODMAS rule says, brackets of division. So it's going to first take brackets. So it's going to first do this and then multiply it with 10. So as you can see now, the answer is 100. I add 6 and 4 is going to be 10. 10 times 10 is going to be 100. And then if you didn't put in the brackets, it's going to say 4 times 10, and then it's going to be 40, and plus 6 is going to be 46. So your computer pretty much understands the BODMAS and understands the order of operation, but you can manipulate that by putting in brackets in whichever operate that you want to be done first. So for example, I put in my bracket so that I want the computer to start adding 4 plus 6, then multiply with 10, instead of saying 4 times 10 then add 6. So you can see the answers are pretty much different. So another thing, you can also store your numbers inside variables. So for example, you can say a whole number, which is going to be whole number, and then a whole number is going to be an integer, so it's going to be it. So I can assign the value maybe 65, and we also have float, and then decimal number, and I can assign it to maybe 3.33. So what I've done here, I've basically declared my numbers and I assign them values. So what you can do here, you can just call in the assigned variable. So you can just say whole number. So what it's going to do is going to call in, so it's going to console out 65 if we run our program. So as you can see, our console is printing out 65, which is our whole number. We call in our whole number. It also has something in C++ that's called increment and decrement. So basically what increment does, it increases the number, the selected variable, the selected number with 1. So if I say number, if I call this variable whole number, then I add in these two addition signs. So these two addition signs are called increment. So then they're going to increase our number by 1. So this works maybe when you're building a game and you want the user to only have 3 options. So you can declare a variable that's going to be your counter, maybe your counter options, and then as the game proceeds, it's going to add 1 and 1 until maybe the user has used all their options, or maybe all their 3 options, and the game stops. So this is how you can use your increment. So essentially what this is going to do is going to add into our whole number. So it's going to be 66. So as you can see, instead of printing out 65, it prints out 66 because we've incremented the number. So this also works and as the opposite. So we also have decrement, which is going to be 2 minus signs. So when we decrement our number, so you see the answer is 64. So we've decremented our number, we've minus 1. So this is really useful. Like I said, you can use them in games where the user has like 3 options to guess a number. So as they guess our decrement, and then we can use our decrement so that the guessing variable decreases until there's nothing left and the game stops. So these are very useful tools in C++. Another cool thing you can do is say whole numbers plus addition equals 2, and you can say 5. So what this does is going to add 5 into a whole number. So our whole number is going to be 60 now. So you can also say division equals to multiplication equals to, so it's going to add whatever this you have to your whole number. So it's like a shortcut kind of thing. So let me run this so you can see. Our console prints out 70, and initially our whole number was 65, and then we did this operator and it's now adding 5. Now we have 70. So these are very cool and useful operations in C++. So you can also do like division equals to, multiplication equals to, subtraction equals to. Let me show you guys how decimal numbers and integers work. So basically how our int and our float work, or our int and our double work. So for example, let me say I have like 5.5 and I added to maybe a 6. So and the answer is going to be a decimal. So whenever you use a decimal inside this operator like this, it's going to print out a decimal number. We have our answer as 11.5. So that's how it works. So when you add a decimal in the decimal, you're gonna get a decimal number, even though the answer sometimes might not be decimal, but for the mere fact that you used a decimal as your operands, the answer is going to be a decimal. So for example, you wanna say maybe 5 divided by 2. So the answer here is supposed to be a decimal if I'm not mistaken, but because we used whole numbers, used integers, our answer is going to be a whole number. So as you can see, our answer is 2 when actually our answer is 2.5. When you use whole numbers as your operands, the computer is going to console out whole number, even though that's not really the exact answer. So for example, if I wanted the exact answer, I can just say 2.00. So what this is going to do is going to give us an answer of a decimal, so the exact answer. So as you can see, now we have our real answer, our 2.5 answer. So this is really important where you don't want the answer to be in decimal points, so you can just use your operands as integers. So this is technically how the computer works. Also in mathematics, we also have like our cube root, our square root, our powering to a number. So in C++ we also have that. We also have a function that we can call all sorts of commands. So what basically a function does, we just call it. It's a built-in function. So all those square root, cube root, power and everything are inside our C++ program, and they're built in. So what we need to do is just to call them, that they can perform a specific task that we need them to. Talk more on functions later on the course. So for now, I'm just going to show you basic mathematical functions. So before I can use those functions, I actually need to import them. So something called import, I actually need to import them. So basically I need to tell C++ that I need to use those functions, those mathematical functions. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy whatever that's here. So I'm going to say hashtag include, and I'm going to say cmath. So basically the computer is going to know that I want to use some mathematical functions such as square root, power and all those. So to use this, I can say POW. So this power takes 2 parameters or 2 arguments. So the first number is going to be maybe 5, and the second number is going to be 3. So what this is going to do is going to raise 5 to the power 3. Let's run our program and see. So the answer is going to be 125. So we also have other functions like, so the other one is called sqrt. So this is square root. So we can square root any number. So for example, so just gonna say square root of 25, which our answer probably should be 5. So let's run our program and see. So you see the answer is 5. So inside of this you can also put in decimal numbers, it doesn't really matter. We have another one that's called round. So essentially what this does is going to round up a number. So when I say 5.3, it's going to give me 5 as an answer. So it's going to round up the number and it's going to be 5. So we see the answer is 5, but then when I say 5.8, maybe 5.8. So the answer now is going to be 6. So you see we have 6 when it has rounded the number up. So we have other functions to round off, like ceil. So what this is going to do is going to round up the number up automatically regardless. So if you say 5.1, the answer is going to be 6 because this function rounds up the number. So as you can see, our answer is 6. So we have 5.1, so it rounded the answer up instead of rounding the answer down to a 5. It rounded the answer up to a 6. Also have the opposite of that, which is a floor. Well, so what a floor does, it rounds down the number. So you can have 5.9, the answer is going to be a 5 instead of a 6, like how we normally see it. You can see, guys, our answer is 5. Our answer is 5 instead of a 6. So what floor does, it rounds down the number and still rounds up the number, and then round just does our normal rounding according to the second decimal point. So we also have another one which is called fmax. So what this is going to do, it takes in 2 parameters, mind you. So what this is going to do is going to give me the maximum number between these 2 numbers. You can see, guys, our answer is 9, which means our maximum number over here is 9. So this is a pretty much useful function. And also obviously have fmin. You can also use fmin, which is the opposite of fmax. So it's going to give us the minimum number. See, we've printed out 5, which is the minimum number. So we have a lot of mathematical functions. We have our algorithm, mathematical function, our sine, cos, tan. So we have a lot of mathematical functions. And if you wanna see more, you can actually Google and then search for C++ mathematical functions, and you're gonna get the answer. So for today and for time wise, we're going to just use these ones. So that is all for today, guys. For my next video, I'm going to talk about getting user input, so how to manipulate and use user input effectively. So click the notification bell so that you can be notified when I publish this video. If you saw value in this video, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, comment, and also share this video to anyone who you think might be learning C++. And thank you for watching.